This is what we are about. We plant seeds that one day will grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We lay foundations that need further development. We provide yeast that produces effects beyond our capabilities. We cannot do everything, and there's a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do something and to do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for God's grace to enter and to do the rest. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are the workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future not our own.
Welcome to the 121st Annual Forest City Regional High School Commencement, honoring the class of 2019. The accomplished young men and women seated before you this evening are about to enter the world beyond these walls. We gather here tonight to honor and celebrate them. For 4 long years, they have worked toward this day, and now it is here. Let's give them a round of applause. Graduates, as you prepare to walk across this stage tonight and close this chapter of your life, I want to share some wisdom with you. But tonight, I choose to share with you the words of many modern-day philosophers, men and women with whom you are very familiar. You see, Lee Bryce reminds you to always be a best friend, to tell the truth, and to overuse the phrase, I love you. He reminds you to go to work, to do your best, and to not outsmart your common sense. Tupac reminds you that no matter how hard it gets, stick out your chest, keep your head up, and handle it. Wiz Khalifa encourages you to hold every memory as you go, and he reminds you that every road you take will always lead you home. And finally, as you leave Forest City Regional, I want you to remember the words of the very modern-day philosopher, Lilo. See, Lilo taught us that Ohana means family, and you are a part of this Forester family. No matter where you go, Forest City Regional will always be your home. I will start tonight's ceremony by introducing Elizabeth Mayers, the recipient of the Academic Honors Award. Ellie is the daughter of Kenneth and Jennifer Mayers of Browndale. She will be attending Binghamton University in the fall, where she will major in chemistry with the goal of going to medical school.
It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. J.K. Rowling. At one point, I used to live that cautiously. Any failure, or perceived failure, was absolutely devastating to me, so I avoided opportunities for failure at all costs. At the beginning of 7th grade, I stuck with the same 2 friends I was closest with from the 6th grade. The thought of trying to be close friends with people I wasn't close with at the time, and then failing at it, was terrifying. But then, almost by accident, my group of friends expanded. At first, it was just casual friendships, but today, those first few new friends have become some of the people closest to me. The thought of making new friends seemed less impossible, less intimidating. As time went on, the group continued to grow. I slowly became close again with people I had known for years but was too afraid to reconnect with. The more friendships I cultivated, the easier it became to make new friends. As it turns out, all I needed to be less cautious and truly live was a little push. And that push was one of the best things that could have happened to me. The memories I have made with the friends I gained are irreplaceable. Through them, I have gained the courage to live less cautiously, the courage to truly live. Without those first few accidental friends, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I have formed relationships that positively impact my life. I am more confident, I am stronger, I am more resilient. They made every failure, big or small, feel less like a catastrophe. I used to think that every failure reflected a personal flaw that was my sole responsibility to fix. The teachers here taught me that failure is not a flaw, but rather an opportunity to become better and grow as a person. A failure is simply an indication that you still have more to learn. Every failure is a learning experience. Learn from your mistakes. Grow from them. Let every misstep show you your path. Let them light the way to your successes. Every single member of the graduating class, every single one of us, is unique. We all have different hopes, dreams, and experiences, but that is not to say that we have nothing in common. One of the ties that binds many of us together, as well as many of our favorite teachers at FCR, is a love for The Office. It's a show we know inside and out. It pervades our senses of humor, our jokes, and even some of our outfits for Spirit Week. However, more than The Office, there is one thing I believe binds us, each and every one of us, together: fear. The fear of failure, the fear of the unknown future that lies ahead, the fear that you just might not be good enough to make it in the world. Ed Helms, who plays Andy Bernard, once said, "Don't be afraid of fear, because it sharpens you. It challenges you. It makes you stronger. And when you run away from fear, you also run away from the opportunity to be your best possible self. Don't let fear paralyze you. Let the fear of failure motivate you to try as hard as you possibly can in everything you do. Let the fear of the unknown motivate you to make your own path in life and create your future. Let the fear that you might not be good enough motivate you to be the finest person you can be. Use your fear. Harness it. Each and every one of us has the possibility for greatness inside of us. Don't let fear squander your prospects for greatness and cost you the chance to be a better person than you ever thought possible." I will leave my fellow graduates with one final piece of advice. Don't live life too cautiously. Don't let fear of failure obstruct your progress through life. Embrace your fear. Learn from your failures. With how far being just a tad bit less cautious has brought me in life, I sometimes wonder what I would be like if I had gotten that little push sooner. Learn from that. Don't put it off. This ceremony, our parting from the halls of Forest City Regional, is a fresh start for all of us. We should all take advantage of this chance. Stop letting fear or failure hold you back from greatness. Start striving for greatness, in spite of obstacles and in spite of fear. Start today. Above all, be true to yourself. Do what you love. Do what will let you achieve greatness, whatever greatness means to you. As a great author once said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do, than by the ones that you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails. Explore, dream, discover.
Next is the class salutatorian, Anchi Chen. Anchi resides in Forest City with her mom, Shajin Wan. Anchi will be heading to Penn State University, where she will major in chemistry and possibly mathematics.
It's March 16, 2010. I am 9 years old, and I arrived at JFK Airport with my cousin and uncle, nervous about what's coming next. I haven't been on an airplane before, nor do I remember been to a big city like New York. It's a scary thing, but exciting. The first stop of my journey is Buffalo, New York. My first memory was how Americans behave. They are very open to each other. For instance, the first day of school, a girl walked up to me and straight just hugged me. I was like, okay, hi. I never experienced anything like this. Until you've been to an environment where no one speaks your language, you won't understand how uncomfortable it was. In school, not only did I not know what people were saying, I didn't understand what they were laughing at. I always questioned myself, are they laughing at me? This is how my adventure began in America. At the summer before 5th grade, I moved to Lexington, Kentucky. A memory that I hold was that it's my first time being in a church. I can envision the stainless glass and a piano. It was a happy place where people singing next to me. However, it didn't last long. 2 months later, I moved to Watertown, New York. Out there, I found my favorite game, kickball. Sorry, it's not profound, but it was fun. After Watertown, it was Philadelphia. Then I came to Forest City. When I first heard of Forest City, I expected to live in the woods. What stuck in my mind was the last 20-minute ride of our long ride. We were going down what I now know was White's Crossing. It was pitch black. With the exception of the full moon, of course. I remember it was foggy. And I remember thinking, where am I moving to? Is this a Halloween town? However, Forest City turned out to be completely different than what I was expected. Once again, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. It's just like stepping out of the plane in New York once again. This time, I know the language, but I have no friends. And I don't know what to expect from this school. However, the last 3 years of my life have been an amazing experience. Although I looked and sound different, I was immediately welcomed and accepted by the entire school community. It made my transition here easier. I wanted to get involved in the community, so my friend Jessica encouraged me to join drama club. Not an easy thing to do for someone who always felt like a fish out of water. People ask me, what have I learned in Forest City? Well, I learned a lot of things. I learned that Americans are social people and enjoy meeting new people. I learned that Americans are very competitive. If you don't know, just come to the spirit game, then you'll understand. I've learned that although Americans take their work very seriously, they do enjoy the time with their family, and that vacations are very important. I haven't been on a vacation before, so if anybody wants to take me to Hawaii, I'm available. Lastly, I learned that I am grateful for my struggles because it made me a stronger person. When I look back and reflect the last 9 years of my life, I'm more than thankful that I end up here. In fact, I wish I came here sooner. I received a great education from all the teachers, and I want to show my appreciation towards some of them. I thank you, Mrs. Nabzowski, for bringing me into the world of chemistry, because without you, I wouldn't have chosen to study chemistry in college. I thank you, Ms. Wise, for teaching me everything you have to offer in mathematics, because I'm always eager to learn more. I thank you, Mrs. Ehrman, for teaching me public speaking, because without you, I wouldn't be standing here today. I thank you, Mrs. McGraw, for putting with me all 3 years of questions, because I wouldn't go to college without your help and words of encouragement. I thank you, Mrs. Kemmer, for making me a better writer, because I was a terrible essay writer before your class. Now, I could go on forever with all the thanks I have to give, but I can't stay here all day. I will always remember all these amazing teachers I have for over the past 9 years and what they have taught me. I will keep all these lessons in mind for the next step of my life. Here's a quote from John O'Leary that I think best summarizes my past 9 years of life. Be aware of where you've been, grateful for where you are, and convinced the best is yet to come. I am aware of where I have been. I am grateful that I ended up in Forest City, and I am convinced that college will be a great experience. I met all sorts of people along the way, but the best people I met are in Forest City. My best classmates, my best friends, and my best teachers. I am Anchichen. It's my first time being to a high school graduation.
Jordan Coles is the class valedictorian. Jordan is the daughter of Pat and Kim Coles and resides in Forest City. Jordan will be majoring in accounting at Penn State University, as she hopes to pursue a career as an accountant.
As a wise man once, or twice, or 25 times reminded us, good, better, best, go be great, or in some cases, #GBG. Most of you probably know who this wise man is, and for those of you that don't, it's Mr. Zach. Thank you, Mr. Zach, for these endless quotes that you like to call inspirational and encouraging, but the rest of us just become irritated hearing so often. You've said them so many times, there's no way we can ever forget them. So whatever direction we steer ourselves in, quotes like this one will be stuck with us as a constant reminder to be the best we can possibly be and never stop pushing ourselves. You're not the only one who has encouraged us and helped us become the successful young men and women up here today. Several of us made up the first ever pre-K class here at Forest City Regional. The pre-K teachers, who at the time were Mrs. Panic and Miss Dipple, are the ones who gave us our strong foundation and started us on the right path to become not only the best students we can be, but the best people we can be in and out of school. Thank you for teaching us so much more than just numbers and colors, and thank you for supporting us through all our years of school. To the teachers who taught us this year, thank you for putting up with us all year. There was rarely a period when we stayed on topic for 42 minutes straight, whether it was because of Tom's translations in English, all the stories in calculus, Finn's laugh and dog pictures and statistics, and even the whole class being wired because we had a trip coming up or it was Spirit Week. You never gave up on us. Thank you for continuing to push us, even as the senioritis hit us and the stress of graduation set in. To my family and close friends, thank you for always being my rocks, my shoulders to cry on, and most importantly, my biggest supporters. You guys are the real reason I am able to stand up here today. Without your constant love and support, I would not have been able to accomplish all the great things I have accomplished. Even during the sleepless nights, stressing about grades and worrying about big projects, you always helped me keep my head up and push through those tough times, and for you guys, I will be forever grateful. Furthermore, thank you to the class of 2019. You guys have been like a second family, whether we have been together our whole lives and from the very beginning, or whether we have only known each other for a year or two. Several of our happiest and saddest moments have been together. Thankfully, though, I feel as there have been more laughs than tears. How can we ever forget some of the times we laughed the hardest and smiled the most? During our volleyball game, when Natalie tripped over the line, when Blaze busted his head open in the Nevzadowski's pool, Finn's wheeze to the dumbest jokes, the day Mark hit Tom with a shovel because Tom stole his sandwich, Tom saving Cody during biology class, Athalia's lunch fights with Haley and Justin, Stoobs getting hit by a school bus, and most importantly, becoming 3-time Spirit Week champs. As we share our last memories together on this stage, it may be a sad time, but let's try to make it more laughs than tears. I will forever miss this class, as I have shared so many life experiences with them, but I will never forget you guys. All jokes aside, I would like to share a couple of my personal beliefs that have become very evident in my life throughout my years of school. These beliefs may not be the same for everyone, but I have found them to be very important in my life. Growing up, my mom always told me, be true to yourself. I never knew how much this simple statement would end up meaning to me. In high school, people change who they are just to get people to like them or to try to fit in with the popular crowd. Let me tell you, it's not worth it. I found it is very important to stay true to who you are. Don't deviate from your authentic self just to try to fit in. You will find your place in your group of friends, and it will all be worth it in the end. This other one you may not want to believe, coming from someone who is valedictorian of her class, but I honestly do believe it to be true. Enjoy your years of high school. Don't stress too much over your grades to the point where that's all you focus on. I never believed anyone when they told me how quickly the years would fly by. I always said, I can't wait to get out of this place, and wished the days away. But now that I'm about to graduate and actually leave this school, I cannot believe how fast it went by. It feels like just last week we were watching Mr. Osborne dance out of his room to get us to move the decimal, or we were reading St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves in Miss Holgate's English class, or just a few months ago we were whale watching in Boston. The years surely do fly by, so get involved while you can and make memories with your friends. In the grand scheme of life, years from now, You won't remember that grade you got on the research paper, or that math test, or that chemistry lab, but you will remember all the memories you made along the way. So while you should always strive to be the best you can be, don't forget to enjoy it along the way. No matter what place you're at in life, underclassmen moving up through high school, my classmates about to embark on our next journeys through life, parents, grandparents, other family members, and friends, I hope these beliefs can help you as much as they have helped me. Now last, but certainly not least, I have one last question for my classmate. Giles, can you tell me what today's date is?
The 14th.
Thank you.
Michael Steerchak is the son of Joanne Steerchak and the late Dr. Michael T. Steerchak, both of whom have served as members on the Four-City Regional School District's Board of Education. Michael is a member of the class of 2003, graduating with third academic honors. As a Forster, Michael lettered 4 years in varsity golf, served as student council president for 2 consecutive terms, was a member of the National Honor Society, and announced starting lineups, points, and fouls at boys' basketball games. After graduating Four-City Regional, Michael attended Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York, where he graduated summa cum laude in 2007 with dual degrees in political science and economics. Michael is a member of multiple fraternities and studied at the London School of Economics and Political Science while interning at the House of Commons of the United Kingdom. In July 2007, after graduating Marist College, Michael accepted a position at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York as an analyst in the statistics function. Michael has remained at the bank for 12 years, occupying various roles of increasing responsibility and seniority. Most recently, Michael was promoted to an officer of the bank in the data and statistics function, where he oversees strategy and change management. Michael lives in Brooklyn Heights with his beautiful wife, Meryl, a family law attorney in Manhattan, and their 3-year-old French bulldog, Pringle. Mr. Steerchak, will you please come forward? On behalf of the class of 2019, I would like to present you with a small token of our appreciation.
This is going to open it now. Sure. Oh, this is a total surprise. An ice scraper. One of the things in living in New York is I don't have a car, but I will do this. And this is worth it all. Thank you so much. This is great. Oh, that's incredible. Members of the faculty, Superintendent Aquilina, Principal Stout, administrators, to the Board of Education, including President Mary Emmett, a personal friend, and my own mother, Joanne Steerchak, to all the other moms and dads, friends, family, foresters, and invited guests, and most importantly, to the class of 2019. Let me begin first by expressing my deep appreciation for the honor of speaking to you today at the 121st commencement exercises here at Forest City Regional. First of all, congratulations to each and every one of you on this momentous day. This day is about you, your perseverance, your dedication, the homework, the practices, the memories all have culminated on this beautiful day to commemorate this incredible achievement. So before I go any further, a hearty and well-deserved congratulations to the class of 2019. I vividly recall being in your spot. In fact, it was that very seat. 16 years ago, almost to the day. I recall having mixed emotions, not just on the stage that evening, but all throughout the days and weeks around the class of 2003's very own commencement. At once, it was awesome and a tad terrifying. Finals had ended, cool vibes had settled in, and good weather and grad parties were on the horizon. On the other hand, my classmates and I were on this cusp of this thing called the real world. It was admittedly scary. Many of us were filled with emotions ranging from trepidation and concern to cautious optimism and curiosity, all the way up to excitement and anywhere in between. And I'm sure that many of you here today are going through that same internal dialogue. Those feelings you're feeling now, the ones that get wrapped up in the excitement and curiosity of figuring out what's next, they don't go away once you graduate. In fact, that unease or discomfort you might be feeling is actually a telltale sign of perhaps one of the greatest things, quite frankly, about being alive. You're growing. And that's my first real message to you today. You'll only grow if you continue to challenge yourself. And challenging yourself is an uneasy, uncomfortable process filled with errors. As the ghost of Forrester Future, let me tell you, for the longest time I had it backwards, and it took me a lot longer to learn it than Elizabeth did. I remember thinking, I want to grow, I want to be successful, I want to get educated, get a good job, I want to impress my friends and parents and prove that I can stand on my own. But in my mind, I thought that minimizing mistakes, having all my ducks in a row, trying to figure it all out, reduced to disruptions, easy peasy, steady Eddie, was also the same thing as maximizing my chances of success. That is totally wrong. Making mistakes is the most critical ingredient for maximizing your chances of success. Let me give you an example. I started grad school in the fall of 2013, and my first course was good old-fashioned statistics. Now, I was a good student in high school. I was a really good student in college. I took statistics there twice. I aced it both times. And in fact, my first job at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York was in a function called, you guessed it, statistics. I thought to myself, I got this. Mean, median, mode, range. No problem. In fact, they didn't even ask me to really take statistics because of my experience, but I figured I had it all figured out, no problem. The grades from the midterm came back, and as any statistics professor might do, he wrote them on the chalkboard in a distribution. There were two outliers. One was a 91%. Above it, the professor wrote, exempt from final. Nice, I thought. The other outlier was a 25%. Above it, the professor wrote, will you be here for the final? Guess who got the 25%? This guy. Heading into that midterm, I took it easy. I studied. I certainly didn't challenge myself, though. But getting that 25% was probably one of the best things to happen to me. After that midterm, I learned and I grew so much. Not only did I get to learning graduate-level statistics, but I discovered how to balance a full-time job, family, and school, and how to prioritize my time, my energy, and so much more. Don't avoid the difficult, uneasy moments in life, whatever they may be. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. First of all, you have to know that they're inevitable. You can't design them out of your life, nor should you try to do that like I did. Instead, view them as challenges to overcome, and have the confidence knowing that on the other side, you'll have grown into a wiser and more mature, better version of yourself. The most important things you'll learn in life are the things you learn immediately after you think, I have it figured out. Figuring it all out and challenging yourself lead me to my second point, which is, as you become a better version of yourself, you're going to inevitably face trade-offs. And trade-offs are successfully navigated if you have a clear sense of self. I recently read this incredible book called Peak, and the author's name was Anders Ericsson. It's called Peak because it's about peak performance, or how the best actually become the best. This guy studied Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo, three-point shooter Ray Allen, home run hitter Albert Pujols, Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn, and my personal favorite, a class of 6th grade music students in Japan. The short version of the 6th grade music students in Japan is this. Over the course of a school year, their teacher taught them, all 90 of them, to develop perfect pitch. So just as we all know, perfect pitch is the ability to detect with 100% accuracy what musical note is being played out of thin air. They did this in 2012. And before 2012, for virtually all of human history, we thought perfect pitch was innate. In fact, many believed it was the perfect example of some people are just born with it. The study had been repeated several times thereafter, disproving the age-old assumption that, in fact, some people are just born with it, and instead proved that you can do anything as long as you give it the proper time, focus, and discipline. But, and this is a big but, Erickson also found that the amount of time, focus, and discipline required to do something as extraordinary as developing perfect pitch, or to be the best three-point shooter or world's best cardiologist, whatever, comes at a tremendous cost to family, to relationships, to health, both mental and physical, and to your pocketbook. We often only see the brilliance of these people on YouTube, but the cold, hard reality is that these peak performers choose to toil themselves to mental exhaustion and physical fatigue in the pursuit of being the greatest. Even those sixth grade music students in Japan reported being less happy at the end of their school year. Now, I'm giving you an extreme example, but it highlights a few important lessons. First, and this is the part where you get to hear me say definitively, hard work pays off. It does. And as a graduating senior from Forest City Regional, no less, you should be exhilarated to learn, as I was, that you truly can do anything you set your mind to. And I don't presume that any of you want to develop perfect pitch, but whatever your personal endeavor may be, don't let anyone ever tell you you can't achieve it. Science has proven that is and never was true. But hard work is only one side of the equation. On the other side of the equation is everything else you need to give up to get there. And I think this is the important bit that's often conveniently omitted that you need to know about. And this is what I mean about trade-offs, and this is what I mean about knowing yourself. So again, as the ghost of Forrester Future, I'm here to tell you that the most interesting, the most compelling, and successful people I know have taken the time to know themselves, and so should you. Please develop a vision of who you want to become, not just a job or an occupation, but the type of person you want to be. Then think about what you'd be willing to do to get there. What will it require to give, and what will it require to give up? Will it take an extra 10 or 10,000 hours to do it? And by the way, if you think you're giving up too much to achieve your goal, you probably are. But if you love what you're doing and accept how much it takes, keep going, because you have found something special. My personal mentor, as an example, he flies into New York City every Sunday night so that he can be the very best at what he does in the Federal Reserve System. And then he travels home every Thursday night so that he can spend the rest of the time with his family, his daughters and wife. He commutes from St. Louis. So if there's anything that he and a bunch of sixth grade music teachers can teach us, it's that you truly can do whatever you want. It's just a matter of deciding what and how far you're willing to go. My final point is a challenge and a plea to the class of 2019, and actually it builds on the final section of the Forest City Regional mission statement that asks us and compels us to be responsible, productive citizens. Wherever you are and whatever you end up doing, please, please invest in your community by trying to understand differences. It's true that today the world is healthier, freer, and more prosperous than at any point in its history. There are fewer wars, less violence, and more opportunity than ever before. Yet a quick scroll through Twitter or Facebook tells an entirely different story. The nation's suicide rate has increased over 25% since 2000. There's an opioid epidemic. Get this, for every one additional job lost in the United States, there are 3.5 deaths attributed directly because of opioids. Income inequality is at its highest since 1920, almost 100 years ago during the Great Depression. And in the last 3 years alone, the FBI has recorded a 30% increase in hate crimes across the country. Simply put, we are divided, we are fearful, we are misinformed, and we are hurting. So my wife Meryl and I, we were at having dinner at one of our favorite restaurants some time ago, and some of the patrons sitting next to us were getting quite animated with their server. They were complaining about something with the meal. They weren't quite happy about it. Now, we live in New York City, and people complaining in New York about their meal is about as sure as a 2-hour delay in like March here. So a few minutes later, another couple actually next to us, they called the server over on an entirely different situation, but they were within earshot, and we heard the conversation. So evidently their house salad was like not great. The greens were wilted and the onions were old and there was no dressing. But instead of complaining like the first table, this table, they took a different approach. And instead of saying, my salad is bad, please fix it, they actually asked, is there something wrong in the kitchen? Beautiful. Lo and behold, there was something wrong in the kitchen. Earlier in the day, there was a small fire, and as a result, they were having trouble getting caught up with the service that night. That's all it took. It's a simple question rather than a demand. A little more empathy rather than entitlement. And all of that antagonism, all of the ill will, the false narrative that the other table had developed in their mind, all of it evaporated instantaneously. We all just want to be heard. We all just want to be understood. We all just want to be included. And we all just want to be loved. So please, once you go crashing through those doors in the next 40 minutes, don't ever forget to listen to others. Don't ever forget to try to understand others. Don't ever forget to include others. And don't ever forget to love. For all that ails us right now, if we act with just a little more humility and sensitivity and ask just a few more questions, we can begin to understand our differences, get to the heart of the matter, and begin to bridge what divides us in the hope of building a better tomorrow. And there is no one, quite frankly, I'd entrust to build a better tomorrow than to you all, the class of 2019. Congratulations.
I can't repay the lessons that you taught me when I was small, or give you gift for gift the daily treasures I recall. I can't return encouragement and loving words of praise in quite the ways you did for me through all my childhood days. But there is one gift that I can give. It's all the love you've earned. For love is what you always taught, and love is what I learned. Thank you for everything you have done for me. Today, June 14th, 2019, my graduation from high school is for you. This celebration is not for any students or the faculty, but for the parents who have brought their children to where they are in life today. This occasion is merely a stepping stone in our lives, which you have so kindly placed for us.
Say what you
Would Emily Kelleher please come forward? It is my privilege and honor as the valedictorian of the class of 2019 to present you with this mantle. This mantle carries with it rights and responsibilities. The class of 2020, it is your turn to be the model of academic excellence for the underclassmen of Forest City Regional. Congratulations.
On behalf of the class of 2020, I accept this mantle. We will do our best to fulfill the obligations that this mantle symbolizes. Congratulations to you, the class of 2019.
Christopher Eckel. Brooke Pace. Grace E. Yadlowski. Taylor Ray Burley. Kayla K. Stevens. David G. Stackhouse. Mark Paul Tredego. Dylan G. Ernst. Athalia Garcia. Cody James Tomlinson. Stephen M. Stuber. William Keller. Harry Peter Monterides, Jr. Isaiah Canfield. Kathy Marie Akers II. Destiny Englert. Peyton Smith. Annie F. Sullivan. Anya M. Nan. Destiny Way. Haley Marie Christensen. Brooke N. Peterson. Tommy Ann Holliday. Brittany Maheltz. Tyler W. Clift. Keanu Rosario. Dakota Swan. Raymond Stephen Andraco Jr. Lucas V. O'Neill. Thomas Louis Piotrowski. Matthew J. Giles. Riley F. O'Neill. Daniel J. Congdon. Eric R. Paulin. Blaze Clarence Albright. Anthony D'Antono. Cameron J. Brucher. Joshua E. Doyle. Luke Miles Bender. David Lynch, Jr. Joshua John Reuben Loish. Finnegan J. Yount. Nathan Derenkamp. Katie Kim Nguyen. Maggie Kowaleski. Natalie Grace Lipko. Katie Elizabeth Nebzadowski. Alyssa Marie Pelick. Laura Olivia Statkin. Emily May Kernashak. An Chi Chen. Jordan Renee Coles. Elizabeth A. Mayers. Emily Arthur. Sarah Hunt. Catherine I. Novojoski. Jessica Notari. Chloe Marie Calabro. Carrie Elizabeth Gillette. Nicole Marie Delarocco. On behalf of the Forest City Regional Board of Education, it gives me great pleasure and personal pride to place the official seal of accomplishments on the class of 2019. You have accepted and fulfilled the graduation requirements of Forest City Regional School District and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, I extend our collective appreciation and commendation for your dedicated efforts. By the power vested in the Forest City Regional Board of Directors, I proudly proclaim you graduates of the Forest City Regional School District. You may turn your tassels.
And we have another round of applause for the graduates of 2019. And they actually heeded my request of, once it was over, to sit down and let me get safely on stage and not get covered in silly string. So I appreciate that greatly. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, colleagues in administration, distinguished members of the faculty and staff, Mr. Sturchak, class officers, families, friends, and most importantly, graduates of the class of 2019. It is an honor to have the opportunity to offer the concluding remarks for tonight's commencement ceremony. This milestone in the lives of these young men and women demonstrates the collective commitment of our incredible school community in helping shape the lives of these individuals, a privilege none of us takes for granted. Arriving at this moment is bittersweet for many of us. For the students, it marks the end of this journey and the beginning of another, one I know they are both anxious and excited to begin. For parents, it is an evening that marks the true end of your child's time here in the Forest City Regional School District, time that I am sure has gone by far too quickly. And for the faculty, staff, and administration, it means saying goodbye to this outstanding group of young men and women who are essentially the heart and soul of our district, their success representative of the value of our work each day. Graduates, each year as I reflect on the advice that I can offer, I peer into the pages of your yearbook, which provide an invitation into your world. The opportunity to see the many academic events and awards, clubs, sports, activities, and community events that brought each of you closer together and prepared you well for this evening. Peering deeper into your yearbook, I read the quotes and advice that you shared with your classmates. I found some really great wisdom, and I also had some really big laughs this year. As you move forward in your journey to post-secondary education, the military, or the workforce, wherever your path may lead, take Maggie Kovalevsky's advice and remember that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. For many of you, your dreams and aspirations are clear. The path is set. You know your next steps. Tom Piotrowski shared that his nose may be big, but his dreams are bigger. Well, Tom, they must be some really big dreams. But seriously, Tom, we know that you will excel and find great joy in all that you do. For others, your path may not be as well defined. For those of you who are unsure, find comfort in R.J. Andreyko's reminder that our future is uncertain. We have no idea what fate lie in store for us, only that we have to keep living in order to see it. Remember that there is great value in finding work that inspires you, work that motivates you to push yourself harder and to go further than you ever believed you could. There will be times when you will face challenges, when life won't seem so easy. During those times, it will be important for you to reflect on Katie Nebzadowski's reminder that courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway. Find your passion and take risks. Natalie Lipko reminds us that once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Best to live your life with no regrets, right, Nathan Derenkamp? Work hard and persevere. Don't let obstacles get in your way, and don't get discouraged if things don't go as planned. Instead, take some time, gain perspective, and remember, every one of you have the power to accomplish great things. And when things don't seem to be going your way, heed Chloe Calabro's advice and don't raise your voice. Improve your argument. Your time here in Forest City Regional has prepared you well. Have confidence in yourselves. Listen to Daniel Congdon and work hard and never give up to succeed. And remember David Stackhouse's reminder that sometimes hard work goes further than talent. Whatever path you choose, it will serve you well to be kind and compassionate. Take the time to extend a helping hand to those who need it most. Jordan Coles reminds us about the importance of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, and that we can't get anywhere in life by pretending to be someone we're not. Each of you has the power to have a positive impact, to be a positive force of change in this world. Graduates, I assure you that you have left FCR a better place than when you arrived. All you have done here, the many lessons you have learned, the friendships you have made, and the fine young adults you have become have led to this night. Your class night slideshow provided a beautiful view into your amazing experiences here in FCR. While there wasn't a dry eye in the house, I hope you realize that Athalia Garcia is right when she says, what feels like the end is often the beginning. In closing, I speak for the entire Forest City Regional School District community when I say that we are better individuals for having had the opportunity to know and work with every one of you. We echo Billy Keller's sentiment in wishing you the best of luck, and yes, Destiny Way, the adventure begins. Congratulations, class of 2019, you did it. So proud of you. You guys are amazing.
Don't merely expect to find or to believe that life is worthwhile. Make it worthwhile. Don't merely see life as whole. make it whole. Not knowing which should come first, to improve oneself or to improve the world. We end up doing neither. Actually, the only way to improve the world is by improving oneself. And the only way to improve oneself is by improving the world.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling stronger. What's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to
A long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
See you again.
We've come a long way